What's good, everybody? It's your boy Rex on Max, and CEO is this weekend, and we have some possible history-defining moments that could go down. Now, CEO, when I looked into it, it really seems like it might be hard to be a champion at CEO than it is at a lot of these other tournaments, because what we'll see is that in a lot of these games, there's not a lot of two-time champions from the ones that we're actually going to go over. So let's go ahead and get into it with our first game. So this year at CEO, we're going to have Street Fighter 6 once again. And when it comes to the games of Street Fighter, there aren't many double champions. Matter of fact, there's only one. There's only been one person to actually win a Street Fighter title twice while it was a main game, and that is Tokido. Tokido won when it was Street Fighter 4. He also won in Street Fighter 5, but he was the only person to actually do that. Now, Justin Wong has won 2 titles. He's won one in Street Fighter 4, but the other one was actually in Third Strike. So Third Strike wasn't really a main game. Street Fighter 4 was, but not Street Fighter 3 Third Strike. So Tokido is actually the only person to ever do this. Now, Mena RD has the possibility of becoming not only the second two-time champion for a Street Fighter game, but Mena RD also has the possibility of being the first back-to-back champion in the Street Fighter game at CEO. So let's see if he actually kicks that off. Now, I don't know if he's, I think, yes, he's competing. I saw that he's competing online. He was actually talking to Jabali about it. So we're going to see how that actually goes. If he can make history, can Mena RD once again write his name in the history books of doing something that hasn't been able to done in the almost 15-year history of CEO. Also, another game when it comes to Guilty Gear Strive, Dogra is the only person to be a 2-time champion with Guilty Gear Xrd sign. But this year we have a chance to not only get the second champion in a Guilty Gear game, in the main game in the history of CEO. Every year that Guilty Gear Strive has been at CEO these last 3 years, there has been a different champion. So maybe we can get a first time back-to-back champ and a first time 2-time champion Guilty Gear Strive. We'll see. Adventure was the last person that I believe won it. Give me a second. If I look right here, yes, the last person to win it was actually Adventure. So hopefully maybe he can be not only the first 2-time champion Guilty Gear Strive, but the first back-to-back. You know, so that would be amazing for him to cement his name in history. But yet another game that we have yet to get a 2-time champion. Now, understandably, Guilty Gear Strive has only been there 3 years, but there's still something that somebody can actually do. So on to the next game, which would actually be Dragon Ball FighterZ. Now, believe it or not, as long as Dragon Ball FighterZ has been out since like 2017, I believe it was, there hasn't been a 2-time champion in Dragon Ball FighterZ. Somebody has won it. A new person has won it every single year. So that is basically another game. As you see, and it seems like it's pretty difficult to get that 2-time champ status as CEO. The competition must be super jam-packed at CEO each year in the last 15 years. But Dragon Ball FighterZ is another game that we have not got a 2-time champion, so we might see that this year. Now, another game that you don't have many double champs in is Mortal Kombat. Mortal Kombat, the only time that when it's a main game, the only person who has been able to be a 2-time champ in Mortal Kombat is, you could probably guess, Sonic Fox. Now, with Mortal Kombat 1 coming up, somebody might be able to have the opportunity to sneak in there with Sonic Fox and actually get their 2-time champ status. Well, and when we go on to KOF, we have KOF 15 going to be played this year at CEO 2024, but Xiaohai is the only person to ever be a 2-time champion KOF at CEO. So yet another game that, if you're in very unique company, if you're able to be a 2-time champ. Now also this year, a new Granblue champ will be crowned. Yes, there's only been basically 2 Granblue champs at CEO. Ren has won it twice. He won it back-to-back 2 times in a row. And then you had Mad Best Killer, but both of them aren't going to be competing at CEO 2024 this year. So somebody new is going to be taking the crown if you're really interested in what's going on in Granblue Fantasy Versus. Now, also we have as far as Tekken. Now, Anakin is the person who has the most Tekken titles as CEO. He won one in Tekken Tag Tournament 2, and then he won 2 with Tekken 7, and he has been able to be a 3-time Tekken champion. Now, the person who's actually closest to him in titles is Ding, but Ding is actually seemingly not competing as CEO 2024 this year. So Anakin has the possibility to widen the gap to be able to see if he's gonna cement himself as a 4-time Tekken Tag champion, something that hasn't happened, and he'll be separating himself by at least 2 championships from the closest person, who was Ding with 2 titles. Everybody else has only been able to win it 1 time. So as you see, as CEO, it seems like the competition is very, very rich, very, very jam-packed, because there's not many people who has been able to at least get more than 1 title in all these games. So it's kind of like a free-for-all with CEO. You know, when you go and look at his history and his accolades of the things that's happening, you can't really see too much of, like, you know, people really submitting like super strong legacies, because in a lot of these games, once again, people aren't being able to win like multiple times. It's basically somebody new every year, all the time. So hopefully these things, we can actually see some history be made. You know, we like seeing that, don't we? We like, you know, seeing people being like Tom Brady or MJ, you know, 7 times, 6 times. We like to see dominance being cemented in these games and stuff like that. But I mean, if somebody's new is coming up every year, that lets you know the competition is super stacked at in these games, and we'll see if anybody can, you know, separate themselves and being the king of the mountain. You know what I'm saying? So we'll actually see that this year. So those are a few things that's actually going down this year as CEO. Keep up with those. That's some history that could be made, some stuff to talk about in the scene and stuff like that. So this is your boy Rex on Max. Peace out.